Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in the last video tutorial on the that programming series, we did operators, but we didn't finish the whole operators in that. Okay, so this time we are going to talk about other operators, which is the type test operators and then the logical operators, and then we have one that we use for the conditional purposes. Okay, which is the ternary operator, or you can call it the conditional operator. Okay, so let's just go ahead and then talk about the type test operators. Okay, so the type test operators we have is, and then we have the is not. Okay, so as the name goes, we use the type test operator to test the data type of a value. Okay, so let me just give you a quick example. So we have, let's say, this variable with the value of, let's say, int value of 1 here. Now this, obviously you can tell that the data type is an integer. Okay, it's because I created it with the integer data type and then I assign 1 to it. Okay, so if I go ahead and I want to use the print method to display what type of data is this value, okay, or this variable, I can just go ahead and check if value is int. Okay, now, this should return true or false, okay, depending on the condition. Okay, so when I run, I should see whether it's an integer or it's not an integer. So I think it's running. Sorry, this is the internet. So that's basically it. Okay, so I don't see any value. Okay, yeah, so you can see through here. This is the value we are seeing here, 1.1. Let me just remove that for now so that you can see. And then I can run. Let me comment this line of code. Okay, sorry. Let me just do that so that we don't get any other print statements in the code. Okay, I think that's it. So I'll run again, and then let's see what we get. So I think the other print statement, that's okay. So you can see we are having true here. This one's okay. So you can see we are having true here. Okay, so we use it to just test the type of data that we have. So this will return true if it is that data type. Okay, and it will return false if it's not that data type. So if we use print, okay, value is not integer, okay, this should return false, okay, because in the value that we have here is an integer, but we are trying to say the value is not an integer, so this will return false, okay, because the condition is not what true. So I'll run the code again and see what we get. So we should get false in the terminal. Okay, so that's basically the type test operator. So I'll go ahead and then talk about the logical operators that we have. So logical operators in that. Okay, that's okay. So we have the and, okay, which is this, and then we have the or, which is this. Okay, and then we have the not operator, which is just this. Okay, so what the AND operator does is, let me just give you a quick example. So the AND operator will just like a multiplication of zeros and one. Okay, so what I mean is, let's say you take zero for off and then one for on. Okay, so if zero here, then it's going to give me zero because both conditions are what, false. Okay, so zero for false and then one for on. Okay, so 0 0, which is false false, then the condition should return what, false. If I have 1 by 0, okay, then still the condition should return false because one condition is true, but we still have one condition to be false. Okay, and then we have 1 by 1. Okay, so that means if you have one condition to be true and the other condition to be true, then we the result should return what, 1. Okay, and then we have 0 by 1. Okay, that one should also return what, false. Okay, because the one condition is false. So for the AND operator, okay, that means the condition should be exactly the same to return the same to return true. Okay, so that means it's supposed to be true before it can return true. Okay, if you get any one condition to be false, then everything will be what? False. So let's just go ahead and then use the print statement to display something. So I'll just use the print statement, and then I will say 1 is greater than 2, okay, and 4 is less than 3. Okay, when we analyze this statement, we know that 1, okay, we've already spoken about let me come up before. We've already spoken about these equality operators. So I think you know how to use these equality operators. Okay. If you don't know, you have to visit the last video, the previous video before this. Okay. So we have 1 is greater than 2, which is false because okay, it's false. So this is the AND operator, okay. And then we have this 4 is less than 3, which is also false. So we want the so this will return what? False, okay, because both conditions are what? False. So when we run, we should see false. And then yeah, you can see false in the console. And then we can also have a condition. I'll just copy this same thing and just change it. Yeah. So I know that 1 is less than 2, and then 4 is greater than a 3. Okay. So I know this is true, this is true. If I should run the code, then it should return what? True. But then if I make one condition to be false, even though if the other is true, so this is true, but this I want to make it false because 4 is not less than what? 3. Now if I should run the code, I should see false because one condition is what? False. You get it? So that's how the AND operator works. Okay, so you can just put this in your mind. Okay, if one condition returns what? False, then everything is what? False. You get a point. If you want to get the value to return true, then all the conditions should what? Return true. So that's how the AND operator works. Now let's talk about the OR operator. Okay, with this symbol. So with the OR operator, we have 0 by 0, and of course 0 by 0 will still give you 0. We have 1 by 1. Okay, so that is false by true by false. It should what? Return what? True. Okay, because 1 is true. And then um we have 1 by 1. Okay, and that one will also return true. And then we have 0 by 0, 0 by 1, right? Okay, and that one will also return what? 1. So you get a point. So let's just see that in the console. Okay, in an example, we can just copy this code here, and then let's minimize this side, and then we can put this one here. Let me also minimize this. Sorry. Okay. So I'll just put a comment here, operator, and then we have this to be the or operator, the or operator. Okay. So when I come here now, I can just change this to or, and then let's see. So we'll use this in examples. Okay, I will do some exercises with you guys so that you see this whole thing in examples. Okay, in sample code. Okay, so I'll run this and let's see what we get. Okay, let's analyze the whole thing before the results show. Okay, so we have this to be false because 1 is not greater than 2, and we also have 4 to be less than 3, which is also false. So false, we are going to get what? False. Okay, and then we have this, which is 1 is less than 2. Okay, which is 1 is less than 2, which is true, and then 4 is greater than 3, which is true. So this will also return true. Okay, so first is false. Okay, and then the second one is what? True here. And then this time we have 1 is less than 2. Okay, which is true, all right, but 4 is not less than what? 3, which is false. But because we are using the or operator, as long as 1 is what? True, everything returns true. Okay, so that's the or operator. And then we have the not operator. So the not operator, let's come up here. So we have the not operator. Okay, so the not operator will just turn everything into what? The opposite of what we get. Okay, so let's say not not of is what? 1, and then not 1 is what? Off or false. So if not false, then it's true. If not true, then it's what? False. So that's how the not operator works. So let's just see a quick example. So we have the not operator, and then we can just put a simple condition here. Let me just copy one of these. So we know that with this condition here, okay, we know that this condition returns what? False here, okay. So if false, then I can just let me just first put everything into the brackets here, okay, and then use the not here. Okay, so what I'm doing is whatever results that I get, I'm just negating it. I just want the inverse of that results. Okay, so if this is going to return false, okay, this condition is going to return false, then the inverse of that is what? True. So now when I run the code, I should see true added to the conditions here, I mean in the console. So it will take some time because of the internet. Okay. Okay, so now I see true here. So that is basically how the not operator works. It will always negate or get you the inverse of the final results. Okay. So the last operator that I want to talk about, you can call it the conditional operator, okay, or the ternary operator. The ternary operator, okay. I'm sorry. So it's just this operator, the question mark or however you call it, okay. So what this is used for is used to perform some simple conditional expression, and then you perform a particular function based on that condition, okay. So let's say we can make the condition that if one is greater than what? 4, okay. If one is greater than 4, then I want you to print hello, okay. See how I'm using it, okay. Sorry. Else I want you to print hi, something like this. Let's see if so let me just write a comment here to show you something. January operator. So we mostly use this in our Flutter programming. Okay, when we are doing apps, we mostly use this kind of condition. I think you guys have seen it in the Flutter project before. Okay, so you have the condition, okay, and then the operator, and then expression one or statement one, expression one, and then expression two. Okay. So what it means is I have this condition. I'm saying one is greater than 4, and then I have a question mark here. So if this condition returns true, then this is going to work. If it is false, then this is going to work. Okay. So if one is greater than 4, print this. Else, okay, this statement here, like else, print this. So this ternary operator is used to perform like simple if statements, something like that. We've not talked about if statements, but then just think about it this way. So when we get into if statements, we can talk about it more. Okay, so that's how we use the ternary operator. So I'll go ahead and print, I mean run the code, and then let's see what we get here. So we have high. So why is that we have high here is because one is not greater than 4. So the condition is false. As long as the condition is false, this will work. Okay. So now if we can use the combination of this statement and then add a not here, and then let's see. So now I add a not here, and then you know that not will always return the inverse of the final results. Okay, so that means if this condition is false, it should return true. And now when I run, I should see hello in the console. Okay, so yeah, now I have hello in the console. So guys, this is all that we have on operators. Okay, and then we will move to the next topic in that programming language. Okay, but before that, we move to next topic in programming. I mean in the DATS. I think we will do some exercises in the next video. I will look for questions, and then we will all solve it together. Okay, if you guys like it, you can leave a comment in the, I mean, you can leave a comment. if you want us to solve some exercises together. Okay, else I'll just move to the next one if you are not okay with that. Okay, thank you for watching, and then I will see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.